Hello everybody. In this video, we are going to see the introduction for HTML, what it is, and we are going to build our first application. So let's get started. As you already should know, HTML is the stand for Hypertext Markup Language. And that's something really important. HTML is not a programming language, it's a markup language. What does that mean? It means it's a markup language that pretty much just describes different elements that's going to be shown in a specific way. It's just a way to have like a markup for those elements. A programming language is pretty much dynamic and do interaction with that. And we have some language to actually help us do that through HTML. JavaScript is the main one, but we have several languages that will help us to modify our HTML document. But by itself, it's just a markup language. And we're going to go through there. There are different ways actually we know that HTML actually stands for and how it actually works. The main reason to actually use it is to have websites. Websites usually are sites to show us something and describe us something. But then when those websites get more complicated and being interactive data in a way that actually help us have some kind of data manipulation, interaction with a database, saving information, is actually changed from a website to a web application. The tendency in the last year actually was moving from desktop application to web application. And many of those new features help us to have a simple code and just one way to actually save everything what we needed. So you just save the information in a server, and that goes replicated to all your users. That's the benefit of having a web application against a desktop application. In this course, we're going to see the advanced web design, and we are going to take to the next level. I want to show up in this video how a really quick introduction to HTML, and we are going to build our first application that doesn't require a server, that will work entirely in a browser. That application is a simple to-do application. A to-do application that will actually save pending items, and then you can actually select those items to be completed, and you can unselect an item to be pending. As simple as that, but it will help us to actually understand the structure, the basic structure of HTML, and how this actually works. So as you can see in the website that I have open, I have the W3 code website. In the programming world, is considered not really that good website sometimes, and there are actually people who make fun of that. But what I like is that it helps us simplify a lot of the information that I want to show you right now. So it describes the structure of a web page. That's what HTML it is. And a simple HTML document looks like this. We have a document type on the top. The document type specifies which type of document, or like the header itself, the whole document. This is saved in plain text. The extension usually is HTML. So this actually helps us tell what type of document. HTML5 right now, that is the current version from 2014, more or less. This is the way that we describe it. In the past, we have several versions, and I believe they are over here. Yeah, here you go. In the past, we have HTML traditional, then HTML 2.0, 3.2, 4.01, XHTML, and HTML5. This is pretty much the current version that we are using since 2014, and it's the one that we need to be sticking up. So the way to describe that this is actually a HTML5 application is with the doc type HTML. That will help us describe our document. This document is working with tags. Those tags are those greater sign and the less or greater than and greater than signs. And as you can see, we have an opening tag, this one, and closing tag. How you identify the closing tag? Because the closing tag have a forward slash at the end, at the beginning. So that forward slash will help us to identify when a specific tag is ending or is working. So the structure pretty much is, we have the signs with the tag name, the content inside, and then the ending tag name. Of course, this tag name needs to be the same that we had at the beginning. That doesn't mean that we cannot have another HTML document inside. We actually can nest how many HTML tags that we require depending on the application, and we can summarize and we can group it wherever the way that we want, and then we can establish those elements through CSS. So HTML, what will help us is have like a skeleton of the website or the web application. CSS is pretty much how the body, how to make it look pretty, reasonable or useful, and JavaScript will help us to do the interaction. Those three elements are the base of any website, are the three standards of the web: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The time that I'm recording this video, there is actually a new 4.1 that is called WebAssembly, and that's a whole new idea and a whole new things that we are not going to look in this series. But just to let you know, right now there are 4 web standards. We are going to just focus on 3 main ones that are going to be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So those tag names work like this, and the content go inside. And it's going to be rendered in different ways through a web browser. We are going to give the orders or what those tags actually work, so how they actually have, and the browser will know how to display that information. A simple page structure we can see it right here. So all the websites or all the web applications need to have a root HTML document. HTML tag, open and close. Inside we have the head and the body. The head is where we have all the meta information, like the website or the web application name, and we can specify the viewports, some icons, 5 icons, information accessible for the web, for Google to look for your site, identify what it is, and have information like the author or description, things like that. So all that meta information that's actually not rendered inside the application is defined in the header, in the head section. The body is pretty much everything that is going to be put on the web application or the website. In this case, we have a header, a part, and 2 different paragraphs. How many elements there are? Oh, there is a bunch. And linked with this video, you will have this website linked there, but also I will upload this cheat sheet that the people from Hostinger did. It's actually really good, and it have a really good composition, all the document information and the document tags that we have. I will show you before, when a tag needs to have a content, you have the opening and the close. When a tag doesn't need to have a content, it can be self-closed as it is right now, as you can see right here. So there's 2 different tags, with the opening close and the self-closing ones. Depending the case is how we actually use them. And in this we have different examples. We have the document structure for the headers, for different blocks, actually how it works, how to inject inline elements, paragraph, break line, like how to add a new line. Different styling, from text formatting, from how to specify different links to a website, links to an email, link to a telephone number. It has pretty much all there. Also, all these tags can actually have a different attributes. Those attributes, and I will show you right here, are the information that complement that specific tag. But for example, we can see if a link tag over here, the A, it means that it's a link, it's going to point to somewhere else, and it have the reference attribute to a specific website. As we can see, it's going to be printed as this, but when you click it, it will send you to this place. So we can have different attributes, and each one of those tags have different attributes that can be handled. And we are going to look at some of those, and we are going to create our own elements and our own attributes in the future. But let's go on. For example, we can actually specify in the image, we can specify when we want to print a specific image, we can specify the sizing of that specific image. We can have actually a specific title attribute, and we can have, as we say, the reference attribute need to be something really important. The attribute can be self alone, for example, like, actually I have it here. This one is an HTML attribute that goes to document type, but the attributes actually can be when assigning something specific. When, for example, the reference or the hyperlink reference is pointing to a specific website. Of course, every attribute that needs to be pointing to somewhere or something, it needs to be under double quotes. So with this quick introduction, let's actually create our application. So to create our application, we are going to start with a repository. It's really important to always start with the repository in order to keep track from the changes from the beginning. So we are going to create a new repository. I will call this view app impure HTML CSS JavaScript. Actually, sorry, Todo App. I will make it public, and I will create a repository there. Now that I have that, let's create a new repository with this information. So we need to actually clone this one. So we copy this information from here. We open a command. Actually have my last video information. Let me close it. There you go. I'm in my with one folder. So from here I will git clone that new Todo App. I will go to my folder and I will open in Visual Studio Code with the command code that, because I'm inside that folder. If I click enter, and my Visual Studio is open there. Before we continue, we're going to do two different things. Actually, just one. We're going to go to the extension section. And from here, we are going to look for live server. From Read Quit Day, it have over 3 million downloads. And I can say I already have installed it. The only things that you need to do is pretty much install it, and you will have it in your server. And I will show you why this is actually useful. So let me go back here, and I will create a new document. Our entry point for application is going to be index.html. And in order to create we know that we need to do the doc type. So we do doc type HTML, and then we do HTML, open and close it. Then we have the head, and after the head, we have the body. This is our basic structure of an empty HTML. But as you can see, it took us a little bit of time to actually type this. So one of the cool things that Visual Studio have are some shortcuts that will help us. And you were looking at some of those shortcuts through this series of videos. And those shortcuts came out actually for Emmet. Emmet will help us to write HTML code a little bit faster. So one of the things that this Visual Studio help us is actually we type HTML colon 5, and we select it. It will create the HTML information file empty for us. The only thing that we are going to be changing is the document is going to be called Todo Application, and we save it. That's it. I have my printer and my formatting auto enable, so you will see that sometimes the code moves a little bit. It's because just give me a specific format in there. What I'm saying with that is, for example, I have enabled that I don't need to have that empty lines over there. So whenever I just save it, you will see that the body go up. So that's actually how I have my Visual Studio working. So those it's not that important right now, just to keep in mind that we're doing. So we have our Todo application there. Perfect. We're going to do the right click here in the index.html, and we will see on the top, open with live server. We do that, and that actually will help us to open our application on the browser. What is the cool thing about this is that this application is going to auto-refresh whenever changes we do to the application. So let me put a header, and as you can remember, you can always see all the links and the different tags in this cheat sheet. But a header is just with the h1. Let's put the main one, and let's put inside my body. I will create an h1 element, and it will call my to-do application. If I save this, that will be described and will show it in my website. Cool. It should start working. So what is the structure that I need? Well, I need a title. I already have it. What I'm visualizing for the application is to have some kind of input box where somebody can type with a button that you can actually click, and two different lists, one for completed list and one for pending item. And one for completed. Let's keep the thing as simple as possible. So we have the title there. Perfect. Let's have a new input. And I have here type text. I will save it right now. And I want a button that we'll call add. As you can see, the input, it have a self-closing. The button, it doesn't have a self-closing, but because it have a content. The input doesn't have a content inside. That's why it have the self-closing tag there. If I save this, I can see my text, my input box, and my button that is not doing anything yet. We are fine with that. So after my button, I need two different lists. One list, and let me put that in a H3 tag, for example. It's going to be pendings. Let's call it like that. And I will have an unordered list with different list items. Let's do item 1, another list item, item 2. If I save this, I can see another header bar here with my two items as a list. Perfect. And after the unordered list, what I need actually is pretty much recreate this. I will copy and paste it. And it's going to be completed. And it's going to be item 3 and item 4. Just to keep different names in there. Perfect. This is my basic structure that I require, or that I need. Let me do something different. Let me put this together. And let me actually on the right and this to the left, and probably can do something like this. Excellent. So now we can see the web application and my code in the same screen. It doesn't look pretty, I know. So we need to start doing some kind of styling. But before doing some kind of styling in there, what I like to do is I like to start grouping my application. So one of the things that I like to have, I like to have a main div component, and this is a shortcut with a specific flag. So if I type div dot and the name of the class and I do a tab, you will say that it was a different div element created with that specific class. What is a class? A class is a simple way that we can use later to apply some kind of styling in our application. That's it. So what I'm going to do is pretty much put all my applications inside that container. As you can see, nothing changed in there. So I can do another that, let's say, I can do some kind of header, and I put this information in there. The div elements are pretty much just blocks. It helps me to group the information in a way. So I will do an element called form. Well, another div element with the class form. There is a tag for a form, but I'm not using that anymore right now. I just specify like this in order to have it that kind of separation. And then I will have my list of to-dos here. And I will put both of my lists there. And then I will create my pending. I will put my pending and my completed. I do a tab, and then I put that information inside. Oh, sorry. Perfect. As you can see, the information is still looking the same. The only thing that I'm doing is just putting different blocks to group different sections or different tags the way that I wanted. Why I'm doing like that? Because now I want to start applying to these different classes, different elements that we are going to be using or different styling that we are going to be using in our application. So for that, we need two things. One, actually I need to save this. So I'm going to create, I will add everything, and I will put it index file. And I'm just git commit that. And now we'll create a new file called style.css. And we're going to be calling that file in our head section. I will put a new link, and we have a shortcut here, link CSS, that pretty much is going to be referenced to the style CSS that is in the same directory as my HTML. So this is pretty much what we need. So now that we have that, I can actually do some kind of styling. So first, I want to do really general styling. So for do a general styling, I like to, like for everything, I like to remove my margins. So I will put margin 0. That will remove that extra spacing that sometimes I have. I like to have control for that. And I do my padding 0 too. Perfect. Now I want to change my text. And for doing that, I will be using fonts Google. And in my case, I would like to use Quicksand. So we'll add in this. But you can look for any font I actually like. And in my Quicksand, what I'm going to do, probably need to have a little bigger. There you go. To go back. Here, customize. I want to add my semi-bold. So I have my regular and my semi-bold. And I will copy this link that I have here and paste it just before my styling. There you go. I just copy and paste there. And now I will copy this line and will put it here. I will not save yet. I want you to see actually the change. So let me just formatting. It's still not saved. If you see that little circle there, that means that this file is not saved yet. So let me go back to my application. And I will save this. And you will see that the text change. And change for the type of the Quicksand font family. I will leave it like that for now. Now that we have that, well, what we can actually do is can have, let's do our container. That is pretty much the one that is graphing everything. In order to select a class name in CSS, we did it with the dot notation. So we do dot and the class name. In this case, is container. And I will specify some different elements. So I will do a display flex that will help me to play around a little bit. You will see that everything change. That's okay. I will change my direction. It's going to be column type. Perfect. And now that I have that, I can do that my minimum height is going to be 100 vertical height, viewport height, sorry. And that means that this pretty much have the full size of the page at least. That's what I mean. So because of that, we can actually now put a couple of elements. And let's put this actually at the top. Perfect. And here we can actually use justify content center. There you go. And then we can do align items center. Perfect. The information is where I want it. Let's play a little bit with the background. So let's do a background of, if we do the pound in there, we can actually select hexadecimal colors. There is a bunch of hexadecimal colors, you can Google that. But for now, let's just put some random. So let me put some gray here. Okay, I like it. I like it to my website not to be as white on the background because sometimes it's hurting to see. So this little gray will help us to have a little bit more of easy viewing for the app. So let's keep it like that. Now that we have that, let's style different elements. So I want to style my form. I want this to be a little bit bigger. So let me work with my form. And what I have it there, I have my header, I have my form class. So I will select that form. And I will do display flex too. And I will increase the sizing to 3 points. There you go, just to make it a little bit bigger. I like that. And the minimum width is going to be 90 viewport width. That means it's going to be really, really long. There you go. And we can actually do a little bit of padding from 1 EM. That's to make a separation with the title. There you go. But now, and that actually could be just a padding tab. There you go. And then we can do a padding bottom. Those are just adding a different padding here, and we'll do the same. So on the top and the bottom, we have the same separation. But now that we saw in that this application or is not centered anymore. So that is inside my header H1. We can actually have a different class here. Let's put it like that, probably it's going to be easier. And then we can actually, sorry for that. Here I can do my title. I can do, let me show you also really quick. Background red. You will see that my whole content is actually centered, but the content inside my title, it is not. And that's something about with my text. So the things that I want to do is going to using text align, center. And yes, I know that I'm moving a little bit fast. Just bear with me right now. This is something that you should be already know in your HTML class. I just want to show you different components. At the end, I will give you some resources, how to describe, how to look for CSS information, for JavaScript, and for the HTML tags. Right now, I'm just giving you like a really introduction how this actually works. Okay, as you can see, my title is already centered. My form is almost like I wanted. I want to have this a little bit bigger. So I will use let's have we can actually select my form input. So input is a tag name. The tag name doesn't have dots in there. I will say that my form input, it has actually here. Let's use another attribute. Let's call placeholder, and we'll put new to do, and that will give you this great text over here that is overgraded whenever we type something. But it's just like a reminder or a way to actually say what we need to have there. So now that we have that, we can actually have here my font size too large. Yes, I like it. And I will do my flex one. That means that we are giving, okay, stretch all that you want in the container that you have. That is a container of 90 viewport width, 90% of the screen size. So we're resizing this. We refresh. You will see that it's taking only 90%. That's pretty much what it's doing. Perfect. And now I don't like that this actually start really at the left. So let me do a little padding for my text. So I will do padding inside of 0.5 EMs. There you go. So we have a little bit of space on there. Perfect. Now I want to select my button. So I will do my form button. And this one will have the same. Let's do the padding 0.5 EM. Perfect. So that we give a little more space. And we can use font size, probably medium. And a little bit more. Perfect. And we can do background color, probably steel blue. No, I don't like it. Let's leave it like that. Let's not mess around with that button. Let's leave it as it is. Yeah, it's starting to look well. Something that I don't like, I want to remove this dot from my list. And because I want to make it like general, I will put in my all rules. So whenever I have a list or something, I just type list style none. And that gets removed. Perfect. And now let's actually work in my to-do section, and this is called to-dos class. Perfect. So I will do my to-dos. Actually, we'll have a mean width of now 90 viewport width too. Perfect. And I will keep this to the left, so I'll leave it like that. And now let's actually any to-dos list item. Actually, no, let's do any another list. This is what we have a padding of 1 EM. So we have some kind of separation. Let's actually increase that to 2. Actually, no, let's leave it at 1. And this one I can do a padding top of another one. Yes, I want a little more separation here, but I want this to be a little more close. And we do a padding bottom of 1 EM. There you go. Perfect. Now I will say that my to-dos list items that are pretty much this over here. I want them to be a lot different. I want to actually be a really white block that whenever you put the course over, it will actually change, and it allows you to select it or give the user the ability to actually select it. So we will do that. First, we add a padding in general of 1 EM. Let's make it that there. Perfect. And after that, I will do a margin top. Actually, no, let's do first a background color of FIF is another grade, but it's a little bit different. Okay. Now I want to separate those a little bit. That's what I'm doing. And I will do it over here. A margin tab of 0.8 EM. So we have that kind of separation. So we have like a different blocks elements. Start looking like that. And I do the font size. I will do that font size a little bit smaller. So instead of getting something there, I will actually put 0.8 EM or 0.8. So you get a little bit smaller. So give you the sense that it's a really bigger than actually this one. I started to like it that. And I believe we can do text align center. We can leave it like that. For the end, we'll do cursor pointer. What this does is actually help us whenever we hide over, you will see the mouse change. And it looks like we can actually select those. It's not doing anything because we are not putting any integration in there or interaction, but it gives you the ability to see that we can actually select this item. Perfect. So now I want to change this one a little bit, and I want to change this one a little bit. So whenever I hover over, so I will do in my to-dos, list item hover. That means whenever the mouse is over, we can do that kind of 0 elements. I will just do something really simple. Border 1 pixel solid. And that will give you that little square. Easy to see where you are pretty much selecting. So now I will do my pending, and I want to select my pendings. So now I want to select only the list items that are inside pendings. That's why I'm not selecting to-dos anymore. I have another wrapper for those that. So I do my pendings, list items. I will do text color, and let's put a green. Perfect. And you will see that that little border is green. And for the completed, list item and completed is a class, so I need to have the dot in the beginning. This is a tag, that way it doesn't have a dot. And we just put color red. There you go. So we have the completed in there and the pendings. One extra thing that we can actually add is a text decoration. Let's put a text decoration of line through. Perfect. So we'll see that those elements have like a line through the content. So now we have our application, how it looks and feel. The next step is going to put the JavaScript in there. So now that we have this information there, let me actually close it. Oh, sorry for that. Cancel. Let me close this. And in order to put that interaction, always never forget added CSS. So I add that information. Perfect. I will create a main.javascript file, main.js, and that file is going to be loaded just before the body. So I will do a script. You will see a script with sourcing. We select that, and we say that it's going to be our main.js. So it's a really good practice to have your CSS on the top and your JavaScript on the bottom. CSS inside the head, JavaScript just before the body tag ended. And this will add pretty much the interactions that we need. Okay, so we have a main.js file now, and we have the script there. And in order to handle JavaScript in the DOM, this is pretty much your document object, the DOM. I like to use ID tags. So a difference of the class that you can have different class and we repeat it. We don't have that like that one right now, but you can repeat class name between tags elements and it doesn't matter. IDs need to be unique. So a really simple way to actually identify or select something of an element is to add in a specific unique tag to there. So I will add an ID tag to this input element. So it's going to be ID equal, remember, all the attributes always need to have the double quote. And I will put this one as new text, because the new text for the new to do. My button will have a new tag called new btn, a new button, and there you will see my using Pascal case in this format. Now I will want to specify this specific list. This list is going to be ID equal pending list, and this specific list, the UL, is going to be ID equal completed list. So those are actually the main 4 elements that are going to be interacting. The child element of the list or text are a button. So now that we have that, we can go to the main JavaScript file. So in the main JavaScript file, in order to start adding that interaction, we need to select those elements, and those elements need to be imported somehow in our JavaScript in order to be doing something about those. So JavaScript have a really cool way. It's called document.getElementById, and when you specify a specific ID of that specific element, and it's pretty neat, but I will be this really sincere. We need to do this 4 times. I'm a little bit lazy. I don't like to repeat code. So I will create a function that will do this for me. And this is pure JavaScript. So we'll create a constant function called get. And probably get is not a really good name because use it for other things, but in this small example is fine. And this element, and this get, we will receive an ID and will return a document get element by ID of that specific ID. Something as simple as it is. And now I can say my new text. This is a constant or variable with the constant element that will not change later. It's going to be equal to get. I will do my new text. So now I'm getting the element that have the ID new text. That is pretty much my my input because that have ID, and I'm saving that in this particular constant. I need to do that with all the elements. So I will do now. Let me copy this name, and I like to keep my variables the same name as the IDs, so it's easy to identify those. I will now do new button is going to be equal get that button. Then I will do my pending list. Const pending list equal get pending list. And now at the end, completed list. Const completed list equal get completed list. And I'm saving those. Now I have the 4 elements that I need to have. I need to start doing that kind of interaction. So what we need to do? New button will get the information from the new text and it's going to be added to the pending list. Whenever I click something in the pending list, that needs to be moved to my completed list. And whenever I hit something or click something in my completed list, that needs to be going to my pending list. That's it. As simple as it is. So let's get started. So now that we have that, what I'm going to do is we need to add some event listeners. Those event listeners actually will help us to get information or add in a specific functionality when something happens in the page. It's how JavaScript doing things. There are different kinds of events. There's click event, there's mouse over, mouse leave, and there are different things happening in the document. I will want to keep it simple in the interaction, And right now, I just want to make when somebody is actually click it. Let's add, the first thing that we need to add is a event listener to my button. So I will say the new button dot add event listener is going to do here the click. Whenever I click that button, it will do something in specific. And we are not sending anything there. So we're going to do a function whenever we click it. And we can say something as simple as console. Now let's do an alert. And I put hello. Now because we have the live server still running, we can actually do, oh, I need to refresh it. There you go. Somehow it loses it. Get element by ID. ID new button. Yes. And we're here in the click event. And that's supposed, oh, alert have only one T, not two. Sorry for that typo. So let's actually save it. If I click it, you will see a new alert with hello. So we are looking that now our button has some kind of interaction. That's perfect. But we need it. So now that we know that it's actually working, we need to do a couple of changes. First of all, we need to look for new text information. So we need to look if the value exists or not exists. And we can do that with a simple if-else statement. So let me actually do an if-else statement. And it will do new text dot value is not equal, this is a simple Boolean statement, and an empty string. Let's actually do something simple, alert. I can add else alert. There is nothing to add. So when this is empty, there is nothing to add, and when this has something, I can add. So we know that this validation is doing what it's supposed to. Perfect. Let's actually put this a little more user-friendly comment. Please provide a task to add. And when this is empty, we need to do a couple of things. First, we need to create a new to-do. And this to-do is going to look for my document, and we're going to create an element, there you go. And this element is going to be a list item. Why? These are lists, and they're with a specific content. So we are saying, okay, create me a new list. And now we have that list element floated somewhere called new to-do. Then I will say that my new to-do that I just created, my inner HTML, or actually could be my inner text too. Probably this is a little more adequate. So pretty much the content inside the tag is going to be equal to my new text value. So when this is now empty, we are going to assign that to the new to-do element that we created. And after that, I will get my pending list, and I will do dot append child, add a new child, and I will add my new to-do. As simple as that. But before we actually get out from here, we need to say that the new to-do value, it needs to be empty. We need to reset the path, the content. So if we're trying to add something, it's not in there. It will put hello there. Boom. It's going there. It didn't get deleted because actually this is not a new to do. It actually needs to be new text. So let me add it again. Remember, this information is not getting saved anywhere. That's why whenever we save it, whenever we reset the browser, it just goes to the original state. That's why. So let's put here, hello there. It get deleted and it get added. Perfect. We have our first interaction working. Now I need to click one of these and send it to completed, and select, and then click one of the completed and send it to the pendings. And that's going to be with a move function. So I will create a new move function that will require the element and the destination, and we are going to do something about it. And this needs to be like this. Perfect. So we are going to do really simple. If my element dot local name, we need to specify what type of element it is equal a list item, we're going to do that something. So this actually needs to be inside an if statement, and we need to move that there. So we need to check that the element have a local name. Whoa, there you go, of a list item. If that actually is the case, that means that we can actually proceed. We can actually do my destination dot append child, send my element. So we need to specify what I'm doing here, because I'm doing one function that's going to be working for both. I don't like to be writing code several times, so that's why I'm creating one function, extracting that functionality from there. So now I can add some event listeners to my pendings and complete it. So I can do my pending list dot add event listeners, and I will look for the click to, and I will do something about it. Instead of doing an empty function, now I will send an event that's pretty much grabbing everything that I've been sending, and I do something about that element. So what I need to do, you know what? We're going to be, we're going to execute the move, and we're going to send the element. So my element is actually my event dot target is what I'm doing, and I will do that validation inside my move, and I need to this be moving to my completed list. Perfect. Let's save and let's test it. There you go. Boom, let's get moved. Let's add something extra, and let's move it there. Excellent. Now we need to move those back. How we move those back? We copy and paste our pending list, and we can change it to completed list, event listeners, and we move those to my pending list. We are saying from pending to completed, and from completed to pending. So that means that we can move back and forward, adding elements, put a new one there, and move it up. Excellent. It's working as it's supposed to. Let's do one extra mobility here, and I have that in my notes right here. I will add a new event listener to text. I want to click enter and be able to send it. So the only things that I need to do here is actually, and I have that text already here, so let me just copy and paste it. I already did it. I'm doing that because I want to show you another event. So when a key up is happening, it's pretty much when you're releasing a keystroke from your keyboard, and the key code is 13, that means the enter key. I will prevent any default behavior, and I will click the add button. That means if I do hello, enter, it's still adding. And I do something extra like that and click the button, it's still adding. So this is a full-blown application, a Todo App application, do it in pure HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I believe for this, the last item that we are currently do is remove this list item from my markup language. I don't need that anymore, and now we have the application up and ready. And something extra that I was almost forgetting. We need to add our JavaScript files. So I use statement changes, added yes, JavaScript, perfect. And now I will sync those to the cloud with this little cloud button that we have there. After that, I believe we have it right here. If we refresh this, we'll see our application is up and running with our 3 different commits and it's working as it's supposed to. Excellent. I hope that you like it. Any question or doubt, don't hesitate to reach me. Happy coding, everybody.